All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are. Today we again have topic of our very special interest. Hello, hello. All right. While you're here, please make sure that you have your microphone muted. I'm also coming to you to mute it, but nevertheless, it will be just more comfortable for everyone to have mic off, camera on, so that if possible, we could see you and yeah, we could see your reactions on the new content. So as I've said, we are now with the topic of special interest and topic about artificial intelligence, I think is the one right now also for the week 4, where we're studying more about tech and product roadmap. And we have our in-house, so to speak, special guests today, Maria and Andre. One quick thing, please rename yourself if you haven't done so with the name of your project as well, so that we could see from what team you are coming from, and also just to understand your background or the domain belonging. So yeah, please, if you can take 1 minute just to put your name, like you see my name in there, Constructor Startup Accelerator Arena, that would be really beneficial for all of us. Also, regarding the questions, I will moderate them, and you can raise your hands, or you can write in the chat, or you can write to me personally. And after each of the slide or each of the section, we will go to them and address your challenges. All right, with this being said, I'm not taking any more time from our specialist here, and Maria and Andre, the floor is yours for the introduction and very exciting content.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, good. My name is Andre. I'm research manager at Constructor Technology. I'm very happy to see you all today. I hope that you are having a good morning. Please turn on your cameras. I hope that from time to time we will have a discussion rather than my speech. So please stay active. Also, one note, I'm a researcher with mathematical education. So all design courses have left somewhere behind. I've never taken any of them. So please forgive me the design of this presentation. I hope it's not that weird, but still. This presentation was prepared by me and Maria. Maria is the executive director of Constructor Knowledge Labs. Basically, the topic of today's presentation is the artificial intelligence in science and education. This is one of the topics that we are now researching at Constructor Knowledge Labs and Constructor Technology. We're trying to understand the current trends of the AI adoption in different scientific and educational scenarios. Let me briefly tell you a few words about Constructor Technology. I believe that you already had some lectures from our team, but still, let me spend a few minutes to remind you what we are doing at Constructor Technology. Basically, we are an IT company which provides all-in-one solution for science research and education. We have a wide network of partners and customers. We leverage from the whole Constructor ecosystem, from university, from capital. We have a lot of scientific contacts. We have a lot of business contacts. So we're basically trying to leverage all these opportunities, all these contacts to create the best solution and improve the life of scientists, educators, and learners. We have a headquarters in Zurich, but also our team sits in different places like Switzerland, Germany, Singapore, Bulgaria, and also Serbia and Abu Dhabi, I think. And we have some employees in the United States. So we have a lot of offices around the globe. But Singapore stays as the main hub for AI and ML research. We're developing the whole comprehensive platform. Let me show you one more slide about that. Basically, our system includes all parts from infrastructure to the final applications. We cover 21 scientific and educational scenarios. We provide computation resources, we provide a platform, we provide developer tools, so researchers and educators can create their own applications on our stack. Basically, we're trying to cover everything in science and education. And for that, we use our expertise. The team is created from people who had more than 30 years expertise in enterprise systems. So we believe that we have a strong understanding how to build this comprehensive system. And Maria can briefly introduce Constructor Knowledge Labs, the new established research institution in Germany, which is now driving cutting-edge research.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining. I don't take lots of your time, just very brief introduction that in December we decided to launch a new research institute in Bremen. So based on the Constructor University, we are very new and our focus is on both fundamental and applied research. So we act in cooperation with Constructor technology. It's a great advantage for us because at the same time we provide new solutions for them as a part of our applied research. On the other hand, we also benefit from their products because our researchers are using Constructor platform and other solutions. So, as I said, we are focused on the applied research and fundamental. And Andrei, if you switch to the next slide, basically we are mainly interested in two things. The first thing is how digital technologies create and investigate the new knowledge. So basically we are interested in the new knowledge production, how it happens. And from the other hand, we are interested in the tools which are solving existing problems in research and development. Please go next. You can see our main research areas. They are pretty broad, but we started on AI focused research, and one of our current investigation will be also presented here. Andrei, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maria. So basically, we wanted to show you that we do a lot of different research and we are well, very aware of the situation that is happening right now on the AI market and in AI science. Today's presentations will mostly consist of the overview slides, so we won't go deep into details. We'll show you some high-level understanding of how we see the current picture of the AI usage in science and education. And if you will be interested in some particular area in which you have more questions, please reach out to us via email or via our Constructor Startup team. We are open to answer any questions and provide more detailed information for you in the future. So there is an obvious thing, right? AI is very popular. We can see a lot of buzzwords everywhere in media, in social networks. Almost every product says that they use AI for something. But what actually stays beyond these buzzwords on every corner? How can we prove that AI plays a crucial role? First of all, I would say that finances can show us that AI is actually growing. And if I remember correctly, the AI tools market is now about $26 billion and the CAGR is about 30%. So that means that this market is growing very fast. There exist about 70,000 companies who do something related to AI in the world, and around 25 of them are in the United States. And also there exists around 500 unicorns already who do pure AI products. Here you can see some plots. On the first plot on the left side, you can see the proportion of AI-related publication. We can see significant growth over the past 10 years. But if we will ignore the orange line, so the upper one, which stays for the computer science, and take a closer look to the other lines, which are for physical, life sciences, social sciences, so basically everything a part of the computer science, we will see the huge increase too. So that basically means that AI is not only of interest of computer scientists, but it helps everyone in every science, AI is becoming more and more popular. This graphic is provided by Nature. So basically, they calculated amount of publications indexed in Scopus and Web of Science and other academic databases with the AI mentioned in abstracts. The second plot on the right top shows us the growth of the expenditure in education for AI. We see that expenditure on AI is twice lower than for AR and VR, but for that there are specific reasons. Apart from that, we see that AI still has significant growth, and we have about $6 billion for AI in education, which is pretty huge amount. The last plot shows the result made by some company. They've discussed with 600 decision makers from US enterprises with 50 and more employees. And the message is pretty clear. Gen AI is transitioning from a future technology to a fundamental tool that every enterprise is now using and trying to leverage from. So these are some basic statistics that can show that AI is not only a buzzword, but something that actually influences the current state of the science and education and enterprise as well. Let's go through the 3 parts of today, through the science, education, and enterprise solutions. Let us start with the science. The scientific flow looks, well, pretty simple. There again, I'm not able to, to draw normal circles. Basically, scientific flow consists of the 5 steps. First of all, you need to identify research questions and theoretical frameworks. So you need to build a hypothesis. What will be your research question? What will you be researching? Then, if you're doing research in areas apart of, let's say, mathematics, you will probably need a lot of resources for experiments, for data collection, for data analysis. Basically, you need funding for that. That means that you need to find it somewhere. And for that, there exists a huge field of the grant applications. So basically, when you created a research proposal, you go and apply for grants and try to receive some money for your research. Once you receive some funding, you go to the most important stage of this process, to the research itself. Research includes a lot of different scenarios that will be covered somehow on the next slides. But basically, it's about the initial literature review, about experiments, data analysis, data collection, different computations. So research is a very complicated thing, and we will see in the future slides how AI can help that. After that, we have another step, publishing. Usually researchers use their results, but they also are interested in discussing their results with other people. They need to show their results to the whole world to get more reviews, to get more suggestions how to improve it or how to move forward, and also to secure their intellectual property. So the publishing is a very important step, which is not directly related to the research itself. So basically, after the research is done, people go for the publishing, and it's a very time-consuming stage. You need to write an article or a paper, you need to file a patent, or even write a book. There are a lot of guidelines, a lot of criteria, a lot of specific requirements for that. So this is a very time-consuming task, which most of the professors and researchers don't actually like. And then the last step is the knowledge sharing. It's basically about the different conferences, lectures, seminars, schools, peer reviews. Basically, this is the thing how scientists and researchers communicate with each other and then try to help each other to identify new research questions, to create new ideas, new hypotheses, and move forward in this loop. So this loop is very simple at one hand, but at the other hand, every single stage is quite complicated. Let's go through some AI scenarios in scientific process that can be, well, that already are done using AI somehow. I have created actually 2 slides. One slide about the idea and research. These 2 stages are the most complicated ones for the AI because basically research is a kind of a creative process, not well structured sometimes, and it's more like drawing a painting. Sometimes you understand how to draw, but you don't know what to draw with which colors. On which paper with which type of the paint. So this is very complicated process, but still AI can already help somehow. There are 4 key scenarios that I've put it down here and some examples of the tools. I suggest that we don't review these tools in the details. You can go and look at them after the presentation. But basically, it's not that interesting if you don't have a specific research questions to go to these tools. But there are still some demos that you can see. So first scenario is hypothesis generation and testing. This is a very, very complicated task. Basically, if you go to the ChatGPT and ask, okay, what research question can I consider for my master thesis in area of computer science or human-computer interaction? ChatGPT will generate you a lot of different hypotheses, but none of them will be useful for your research because all hypotheses should be based on the literature, on the existing researchers, on the existing theorems, on the existing methodologies. And this step is very complicated. Generic AI agents cannot help here a lot. So if you are interested in using AI, you need to create a specific AI model which will be aware of the ongoing and modern research in your specific area. So it can understand your scientific language, it can understand papers that are in your field and help you to create a new hypothesis. Then literature review and summarization. This step is, well, it sounds pretty simple, but it's, again, very complicated because of the hallucinations, basically. When you are doing a literature review, you need to have precise numbers, you need to have a precise sentences, you need to have precise information and precise references to the article that you are reviewing. Any hallucination can cause a lot of problems for the further research, and you'll have a wrong information in the very beginning, which is not good, obviously, if you're doing a time-consuming and, let's say, expensive research. The literature review is something that should be done properly with the use of AI. So that's why there exist specific solutions a part of ChatGPT. I believe that you try to, for example, summarize a book using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can do it very well. But if you take 10 scientific papers in one specific field, let's say in computer science or in healthcare, and you go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write down all the methodologies used in these papers, it will struggle. You will see that ChatGPT is not able to do it. For that, we have specific tools. You can try this experiment to take some random papers from, let's say, Nature, go to ChatGPT and go to the specific tools and see how different results will be. The next 2 steps are not that complicated, but still data analysis and pattern recognition and some automated experimentation. This is, I think, very understandable. So let us move forward. You can review the solutions after the lecture. That might be interesting for you. For example, Lobster here in the last row. It's a simulation platform for virtual experiments. So basically, you can try some chemistry experiments in their demo sessions. And that's pretty interesting. If you are not aware how to do chemistry experiment, you can try it using this AI platform. The next set of scenarios is for easier process for writing and sharing, knowledge sharing. This is what is widely used already. Scientific writing is very specific, so we have specific tools which understand the rules of the scientific writing, but in general, Grammarly can help you to write and use proper English. Writeful can help you to improve citations and improve your academical style. There are Tableau AI and Google AI, so Gemini basically, which helps to visualize complicated data. There are specific academical tools which help you to get papers that are in the area of your interest. So these tools works actually very well. This part of the scientific process is already almost done by AI solutions, and the only thing that is needed is to scale them and make the models more aware of the current ongoing research, because basically models are trained on the old data, and if you need to add some modern concepts, you need to do a fine-tuning or some additional development over the models. Let me... Okay, maybe before moving forward, let me ask you if you have any questions about these scenarios, because then we will cover some examples of the particular AI usage in science, and then we'll go forward to the education.
We have Vitalis with raised hand, so I guess we will just pass it.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is
Hi.
Vitalis. Yeah, basically doing the very similar thing in your field, but actually making it a little bit more easier for people who are not researchers. My main question is actually workflows. Do you have some kind of a recipes or some kind of approach for gluing it all together in your workflow process, or it's like complete freedom and everybody adopts as they are? Because tooling and gluing it together, it's such a mess now that when I'm asking product designers, UX researchers, they're saying, you know, the things I'm using is like I'm taking the transcription, and because I have a lot of experience bringing it to Miro and doing all the coding and all the stuff by myself. And when I'm asking, but why you have so many tools, they're saying, you know, for me, it's just a workflow that I adopted and I know what to expect from out of it.
Yeah, thank you. This is a very interesting question. Basically, our Constructor research platform is the place where we try to help people to create their workflows with the different agents. Basically, there is one thing that I will cover at the end of the presentation, how people in general create workflows with different AI agents. But yeah, I would say that you are right. At the current moment, there exist a lot of tools that can cover specific scenarios, but there exist only a few tools that can allow you to create a comprehensive workflow, and this is what we need to create, actually. Yeah. So we don't have a kind of a ready-made recipe how to combine different tools. We found out for our own research somehow which tools we need and how to combine them into workflow, and we have implemented it on our own platform, so we can kind of share with people some examples how we do it. For example, we have a research group who does investigation on new materials. Actually, Konstantin Novoselov, Nobel Prize winner, is the leader of this research group, and they have created a comprehensive workflow on the Construct research platform with different AI tools, starting from literature review and ending with the complicated new materials models creation and data analysis. But again, there is no ready-made recipe at our site so far.
Okay, that's a great answer. I will tell when I'm coming from. So I was with Volkswagen Digital Lab for a long time, at a pretty dedicated way how we were doing things, and it was working perfectly. Yeah. And then when I got out of it, I understand that it's not everywhere is like that. I was like wondering why not everyone is using Double Diamond with all
Yeah, that's true.
ideation
That's
part, and why it's not even existing. Yeah, and that's why I was wondering. But
actually, this is a very interesting question for the random discussion. For example, in our product teams at Construct Technology, we have a few people who are doctors of science. So they've completed their PhDs, worked at different labs, and then they understood that the scientific process is, well, very different from, let's say, product development process, which is well structured. There are a lot of methodologies how people develop products, right? So you know it better than me. You are creating startups. And these guys came from the academia and are trying now to adopt research platform for academia with the product development knowledge. So yeah, this is a good thing. Thank you. And I see we have another hand.
Yes, exactly. Max, the
Yeah,
floor is yours.
hi, my name is Max. I'm sorry I'm not having camera today. So my question is pretty quick. You mentioned creating your own models because existing have outdated knowledge. What about, have you been trying to do knowledge graphs or something? So for example, reuse existing models with feeding.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure. There exists a lot of different approaches. For example, REG, retrieval augmented generation, which allows you to add extra knowledge to the existing models. Well, it allows you to work with the new knowledge and old model. So yeah, there are a lot of approaches that we are combining at our platform and reviewing as well. But in general, if you take a basic model like ChatGPT, GPT 4.5 without additional tools, you won't be able to add specific knowledge from your domain to it directly in user interface. So you need to either code it by yourself or find an additional tool which will allow you to connect some tools to create this workflow.
Yeah, that's clear. But I mean, in general, have you experienced any good results with RAG patterns, or you lean towards custom trained model by IBM or something?
Well, there are lots of questions here. For example, it depends a lot on what type of the product you are building with the use of AI. If you are considering only scientific process, that might be more useful for you to create a specific model which can work with the specific types of data that you have in your specific research. If you are, for example, using it for some as a part of the product, which will be covered at the later slides, you need to consider, for example, the cost of the use of the LLM, and sometimes it's better to create your own on-prem solution based on the open source models. It's it's simply cheaper and works as good as for example, OpenAI models. So there are a lot of parameters that you should consider when adding different tools. For example, REG works very slow. This is one of the limitations. If you want to create a pipeline for customers, which should work very fast and smooth, REG should be somehow, well, REG would make this process slower. So there are a lot of different approaches that should be combined depending on the product, on the particular product.
Thank you.
All right, shall we go with a wave of the hands, of the raised hands?
I don't know. You decide.
No, but I mean, we can spend like, I guess, 5-10 minutes on them. So
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Why not?
So yeah, so I think, but I'm always confused. Is it like from the side, Abhishek, were you the first one or Pratik was the first one? I'm all the time thinking like, who was the first one to raise the hand? In case
Pratik was the
you.
first one.
Okay,
Pratik
perfect.
was
Then
the
we'll
first
go
one.
from the
Pratik
right
can
to the
go, yes.
left. Yes, thank you so much. So yes, Abhishek.
Thanks. Thanks, Arina. Thanks, Abhishek. Andre, we are building a cancer genomics product, which is where our principal use of AI is to recommend the treatments for cancer. So there are a lot of drugs and clinical trials going on. One of the concerns that we have with AI is that the model that we are developing, we want to make it a proprietary model rather than making a gen. So how do we address those concerns when we are using the integrated tools over there?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the questions. So you're saying that you're trying to build your own model for all this recommendation system, but what is the problem?
Yeah. So in that, I mean, what are the things that we should be keeping in mind so that it does not become an open source AI model and how to select optimally? So there are two main areas where AI is contributing in our model. One is data visualization side and the research side, where it is collecting all the information from all the central database for the drugs from the. So we have one model, internal model that combines our genomics, and the output of that model is then used to generate AI prompt to identify suitable drugs that would be suitable
Yes,
for the
yes, yes.
patients. So, what are key things that we should keep in mind from to make sure that all the security aspects and it does not become a general AI model and it becomes a
Yeah, I
proprietary
understand your question.
model?
So I would say that this question is out of scope of today's presentation. It's a good question, and we have a machine learning team who is also developing their own models and can give you more detailed information with the precise development knowledge. So maybe we can keep this question as a, I
We
don't know,
can
hand lever for the next session, because we will probably
Sure.
create one more question about more particular example, how to create models, how to create agents, and we'll invite our machine learning experts who can answer this question better than me.
Absolutely. I mean, if we are okay, I can also plan. I mean, if you're fine with it, I can plan another separate meeting with you to discuss this.
Sure. Thank you. It's a good question.
Thank you.
I wrote it in my notebook.
So Bono, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Bono from Zen. So our company purely focuses on AI, on generating synthetic AI models in architectures. So I see that you're also a technical person, and I would like to know your opinion about the AI. Several years ago, the computer vision models, they were top one, but nowadays those are NLPs like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. So what do you think? What are the next models? The modalities, let's say, or types of models?
This is a very good question. What we see right now is the development of the different protocols, how agents can speak to each other. So in the past year, in 2024, we saw that people started creation of their own own agents for different purposes. So like the most trend was creating the specific agent for a specific scenario. Today we see that there exist a lot of protocols. Well, there is a MSP protocol created by Anthropic, and the new protocol A2A, agent to agent, created by Google a few weeks ago. So I would say that this is a trend for the current period, how agents can speak to each other and becoming more collaborative in a somehow universal way.
An AGI, closer to AGI.
Well, we'll see. Basically, there's an interesting question, right? For example, one person cannot do everything, but if you combine 10 person in a team, they can do much more things that every single person on their own. So yeah, maybe this is the answer to the question. So we need to combine different trained agents to create a comprehensive system. Not creating a generic system, but create a specific agents and then combine them into one system. Again, we have last question from Abhishek, right?
Yeah, hi. I have a very simple question, right? So this data visualization aspect that you have presented, right? So can you recommend a tool, which we can overlay to have a good dashboards, and I just write it down that this is, for example, I am looking for, how many my users have earned on a month to month, in a very simple query, right? And then I get a dashboard from that when I latch it onto my own database.
Well, there is if you are looking for a simple tool that can take the raw data and then visualize it, you can try. You can actually try the AI solution of Tableau and visualization Google Tables with the Gemini Pro. There is also a new established instrument, again, Spark AI, which creates presentations for you based on your data. They can do some visualizations based on the data that you provided, but I believe that they still create only basic plots. What we've done for the comprehensive dashboards for our products, we've asked different models to create a code in our analytics tool. So we asked the different models to create a code which will create a nice looking dashboards from the data sets that we are extracting from products. So it was a kind of an extra step, but that gave us a much better result.
But that was custom build that you did internally, right?
I mean, there is a simple prompt engineering. So we go to the model one time, and we give all the data sets that we have with examples, and with the examples of the dashboards like written on the paper, like a photo, and we ask model to create a code for this tool to generate such dashboards. It helps us a lot. I think that we spend not that much time if we'll create all those dashboards on our own.
Where did you do this? Where exactly did you do this?
I think we've tried. I think we tried with Grok.
Grok. Okay.
I think with Grok, right? But also you can try with the Claude, because Claude is one of the best models for coding right now. You can try.
Okay.
You can try with Claude, with Grok.
Thanks.
Okay, good.
All right,
Let's go
let's
further.
go to
We have-
let's go further. Yes.
We have a lot of information to cover. Well, I wanted to tell you about two more examples on how, let's say, pure scientific projects leverage from AI. There are two projects that I've added here, but obviously there are much more. You can go to the Google DeepMind website and see how many research projects they do. So Google DeepMind is basically the research center that is funded by industry, but does the research in a new research, let's say. But usually the research somehow finds the applications. So one is the AlphaFold, other one is CERN. AlphaFold is a system that predicts proteins, and you probably heard about it. So the system was created, I don't remember when. Yeah, I actually forgot when it was created, but in general, it was able to predict more than 200 millions of protein structures, and now the library consists of a lot of proteins generated by AI, and the prediction accuracy is about 35.4%, which is quite cool. Basically, without the use of AI, people won't be able to create so many different structures manually. The other thing is CERN. It's well, I don't remember what CERN stands for. Maybe Maria remembers, but this is a research center which created Hadron Collider, and they do research on particles. So they do some research in physics, and what they basically do, why they use AI? They have a lot of different sensors, and they collect huge information of data. I saw the estimation that they collect about 1 petabyte of information a day. So this is a pretty huge amount of data. It cannot be processed fast with the computers and with the basic calculations. And they need to filter the data and then understand how to process the data more efficiency. And they used a lot of different machine learning algorithms to do it. So basically, I would say that if you are building a specific model for the domain, for specific domain expertise, you can leverage a lot. But this requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of efforts, and a lot of scientists who will work on these models. These examples show us that AI can help in scientific research a lot. It can do a lot of things that people cannot do manually, but it doesn't say that we can create such models on our own, sitting at home without any knowledge, and then leverage of all those nice results. So the problem here is that if you are creating an AI model for scientific research, it's going to be very complicated, but very helpful on the other hand. There is also another example, another two examples, which are not that scientifically oriented, so they are more industry oriented. One is City Reason. I won't go into much details because we don't have much time. Basically, this is a platform which creates solutions similar to what was presented by, I don't remember by whom. So they do a disease modeling and try to understand how to, which drugs to use in a particular scenario to better fight the disease. So basically, their main think that they help pharma and biotech to decrease the amount of time for drug discovery and increase the accuracy of the experiments. And the another example is also, I think, from Google, is the most accurate global weather forecasting. So it's called GraphCast. It's a machine-based approach to predict data. It was trained on the 39 years of historical data, and now it overperforms most of the algorithms in most of the scenarios. So this is basically how people are creating very tools for the very basic scenarios like weather forecasting, but it's still very complicated. And I have added a few kind of pictures for meditation. These are pictures about how GraphCast works and how it is evaluated. So you see that the model that was created is very comprehensive. They tried to understand how the whole weather system works around the globe. Then they train this data on they trained this model on the huge amount of data, and then they found out that this model can predict weather very good. But it's also very time-consuming project, and it's also very well. You cannot come to ChatGPT and say, "Okay, I have 40 years of investigations. Help me to create a model." Basically, such models are created by professionals, and it takes a lot of efforts. The next open question that I wanted to ask is why should we think about the science? We're here in the startup incubator, and we are not building pure science products, even though some of you are building deep tech products. Why should we consider science in general? Do you have any ideas why scientific project is important?
I mean, you can already see how deep tech projects are already raising their hands. So
maybe it's going to be better to write a few words in the chat.
Okay. Ease of work, fundamentals should be existing.
Yeah. Also, maybe we can ask Bolat to say what he wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrei. Thank you very much. I mean, great presentation. So why science is important? Because this is the only area where the humanity, the business will benefit. So, this is the reason why actually everyone is, the market is shifting to deep tech. The first, again, the conclusion from your presentation, what we can say that LLMs they actually sucks at science, and which means that the general architecture and the general algorithm is not the best fit for science, because I just want to add about AlphaFold. It's a lot of papers right now which actually states that AlphaFold is not an AI. It's just actually learned a lot, so it's not generating. And the idea that most of those models they don't catch the physics, the real physics of the world. So that's the main reason why most of the models actually.
That's an interesting answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Because there are many unknowns that we can discover using AI. For example, a recent study found that using AI scientists were able to discover new biomarkers. And what we do manually would have taken 3 years, right? This is a nice example. I think it's example from the Google AI co-scientist, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. They have created a co-scientist which basically is creating a hypothesis. So this is a hypothesis generator, but it does it very well because a few hypotheses that they generated were very fast proved, or they were proven a bit before, but independently. So yeah, this showed us that this tool can generate a very good hypothesis and save us a lot of time, obviously, yes. In our science, we get the highest metrics, like accuracy, precision. Yeah, that's a good question. Basically, I would answer the question in that way that we can see a lot of analogs of this flow in our life. basically we can consider every process as a small scientific process, like small scientific flow. For example, if you are studying something, you are actually doing small research with a lot of materials that you have, but still with the help of the teachers, but still. Child who is playing with the small cars, it's also research because child is trying to understand how it works. Obviously, child is not doing a proposal and finding, but child has an idea, then child tries to do experiments, and then child comes to mother and says, oh, see what I found out, that this car can, I don't know, beat this car, or this car is faster than this car. So basically we can find a lot of examples of this scientific flow in our life. And I wanted to share my kind of a obvious estimation how we can implement the same flow in product development. I'm standing at your field right now, so my scheme might be not good, but I think that this product development flow is almost the same as a scientific flow, and we can kind of think of the processes at the same level as we think of this process in science, and use the same, let's say, AI technologies and same AI features to create a better product. Okay, good. Team, can you tell me how much time do we have?
So we have 10 minutes plus 40 minutes around.
40 minutes, okay.
Yes. We can do that.
Okay, I can try to be a bit faster. So we've covered this science part, but we also have education part and, let's say, generic part. Let's go to the education part. Basically, education flow is pretty simple. It's not that straightforward as it's written here. Obviously, when you're studying at, for example, at school, you go through all this process from left to right. But in general, we have a few loops here. For example, there is usually a loop from lecture, seminar, and practice back to the lecture, seminar, and practice when you're taking one course, for example. Or there is a longer loop from lecture, seminar, practice, and assessment between different lectures. And even there is the biggest loop here between course and graduation. For example, when you graduated from the school and then go to the university, when you finish your master's degree, go to the PhD or something. So there are a few loops there, but in general, if we consider one specific educational flow, it will consist from these parts in this pretty straightforward way. Course, lecture, seminar, then practice on computer or with some, I don't know, non-real experiment, then practice in the real world, then assessment and graduation. Also, I've stated here the main players who participate in educational flow: learner, educator, and administrator. I won't tell you anything about administrators today, but we still should think about them, because if you are creating a product for education, you should always remember that there exist a lot of people who are involved in the educational process, but who are not teaching themselves. All people who do finance, all people who care about the electricity, about the buildings, about the procurement, about the, I don't know, internet at school. All these people are very important, and they help teachers and learners stay more productive. So we should not forget about administrators, and we should also aim to make their lives better. But in my today's presentation, I will cover only a few examples for learners and educators. The one thing that we found out when investigating different startups is that most of the startups were successful only when they focused on a specific user and a specific pain point. So if you, for example, take a learner and take a specific pain point, for example, tutoring, or for example, help with the homework, or I don't know, help with the materials, you might be successful. If you consider the whole flow from, I don't know, from lecture to assessment, you will have a lot of different problems, because building such a huge enterprise system from scratch is a very complicated task. I see the question from Vitalis. You can maybe answer it.
Yeah, just a quick question. Due to the dynamics of the LLM systems, and that they're really agentic, as you mentioned previously, and can combine few, let's say, steps in a one, yeah. Is it something you see that is a little bit shifting due to the ability to cover a lot of things. I mean, from my experience now, I'm going to Windsurf, Cursor, and any other EDI, LLM-assisted ADI. It does front-end job, it does back-end job, it does some even research job. And recently I just converted my ugly PowerPoint presentation to pure HTML within 1 day, because I really hated to work in PowerPoint.
Yes, I can
And it's
understand.
like one size fits all kind of shift.
But you see, the thing here is that when you're creating a startup and you came with one basic idea, it's very hard for you to create a comprehensive system. For example, well, I'm saying that you should focus on one specific user and specific pain point, but at the beginning of presentation, I told you that we at Constructor are trying to build all-in-one education and research platform. Well, I believe that for creating a strong, comprehensive platforms, you need to have a strong team who has a lot of experience in building enterprise solutions. So that's the main point that I wanted to say here. If you are building your first AI startup and you wanted to do something for education, you should focus on some, maybe on one, or maybe on two, maybe on three, but on a few pain points. You should not try to cover all scenarios at once, because, well, we see that there are a lot of startups who tried to make, for example, a comprehensive solution for assessment, starting from assessment generation and ending with the grading of the assessment, and they were not successful. But there are a lot of startups who create a content generation for assessment or grading separately, and they are successful. So these are signals from market that we see. There are not that much enterprise solutions, and most of them are not that good as they could be. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say. The next question is very simple, that I've kind of prepared here as a cliffhanger for the next slide. Can you drop to the chat a few examples of the tools that you know are used in education? Forget about AI for the moment, just add any tools that you know. I can start. For example, learning management system. The system where a student goes and see all the materials. For example, you have account in our Constructor LMS and you see all these presentations and recording there. What else? At Seal, Udemy courses. Okay. But yeah, okay. Anyone else? Mira, Figma, LMS, at Seal, Magic School, Moodle. Okay, good. So I see that you are adding examples of the particular tools. In general, there are different groups of products which are used in education. For example, learning management systems or student information systems, or even ERP systems are used in academical environments, but mostly by administrators. There are also products which are created for exams and assessment, for content creation, for content, let's say, selling, as for example, Udemy, right? There's a content marketplace, content platform. There are also tools which allow students to communicate with each other. There are tools for collaboration like Mira and Figma, where you can create something together with your teammates. There are specific tools which create communities. For example, communities of children inside one school, or a community of the mathematical, I don't know, a community of children who have interested in mathematics and are living in a particular city. So there are lots of tools which are covering different educational scenarios. And I suggest you to take a look at this at Tech Insider map. There is a map created by a company at Tech Insiders. They've collected not that much companies, around 300, I think, but they've created a nice and pretty comprehensive categorization of different tools. You can see on their website description of these tools and some information about their financials, about their teams, to better understand how big and how good are these products. And yeah, you can try some of them to better understand what is the typical representation of each group. There is also another map that I forgot to add here, which came to my mind right now. There exists a whole NIQ company who creates different frameworks for higher education. You should take a look at this also because there are a lot of digital scenarios that are covered by AI. Okay, so as I said, let's go through some key ideas how we can work with educators and with learners, how AI can help them. Educators. Educators are people who educate other people. Teachers, lecturers, professors at the universities, even parents can be educators at some point, or mentors, or, for example, football trainers. They are also educators, right? So educators is a very wide audience, and we have a lot of different problems and scenarios that can be covered by them. In general, we see that most educators have two key problems. They don't know what is AI, how to work with AI, and how to use it in their particular work, or they don't believe that AI can help. For example, I personally worked as a mathematics teacher, and I still have colleagues who teach a lot, and most of them are saying that, well, AI is good, but it cannot generate good mathematical content because it generates random numbers with hallucinations, blah, blah, blah. The people don't believe that AI can help, and they don't use it at all. So there is a big problem. Yeah, AI can hallucinate, that's true, but it doesn't mean that you cannot use AI at all in your educational environment. Basically, we can help teachers with a lot of things, and even if you don't consider making the content, but even the content can be well generated by the AI. We can help them with the automation of their administrative tasks. We can help them with creating more personalized path for their students, because usually teachers are very busy people and they have a lot of children in their classes and they are not capable of doing individual path for every learner. And also, I believe that a good teacher, good educator is the person who always wants to educate himself or herself. So professional development is a very important thing for each good educator, and this is something that people usually don't have time for. So if we create some, for example, tools that can help educators to better understand how to work with AI, it will help them a lot. It will increase their productivity a lot, and this is what we see right now. For example, oh, I raised my hand. How it happened? Yeah, for example, we've reviewed some surveys from school teachers and university professors over United States and Europe, and we found out that around, I don't remember exactly, so around 80% of people were not, well, they didn't have enough time to understand how to work with AI for their particular lessons. So they basically skipped it, and they told that schools are not giving a lot of information about it. But on the other hand, there are some schools, for example, IB schools, who are now providing specific AI trainings for teachers, and they're helping teachers to stay more productive and help them to create a better curriculums. And there are also a news that appears only today in the morning. Well, I saw it today in the morning that Duolingo, for example, started to hire people all based on their AI knowledge. So basically, they open new positions only if they see that team cannot automate this task using AI. And then when they consider people for a new position, they do a lot of tests how people use AI to see that people will be productive. So use of AI is a kind of a complicated thing, and we need to have a lot of work around it to get people used to it. The other part is learners. What typical problems do learners have? Well, if you remember how you learned at school or at the university, or if you remember how you bought some courses and then never finished them, one of the main problems is engagement. People are usually not interested in the materials, or they found materials too hard or too easy, or children are thinking they're, I don't know, bad mathematicians and they don't study mathematics. So one of the key problems in education is that teachers cannot track engagement very well and cannot adapt materials on the go to stay students more engaged in the content. And the other, let's say, opposite problem is that people usually think that they understand everything, they know everything, and they don't need to learn. So they can, for example, easily pass exams. There is one example from my life. I was graduated from a mathematical school, and when I came to the university, my first year was very easy. I've decided that, okay, I know everything from the first year, and then I skipped a lot of lectures and went to the exams. I passed them with the best note, with the best grade. And then I realized that, well, okay, even though I had the best notes, I didn't gather all knowledge that I could gather from these courses, basically because I knew that I understood the most of the concepts. So these problems can be solved by AI. If we have a specific learning support for children, for students, if we have a personalized learning path, if we have a specific interactive learning and engagement tools, it will significantly improve the learning outcomes and learning progressions for children and for students. This is what we see on the market right now, and people are trying. People are trying to create a new engagement solutions. People are trying to use AI for skill gap analysis. People are trying to use AI for a generation of adaptive path for students. But this is well, I believe that all these products are on the very beginning of their development, and then in the future, in 1 or 2 years, we'll see many more better adaptive systems that will help us to create a really personalized learning for every learner. This is the most important thing that we see should be made by AI in education for learners. Okay, good. Any questions?
Yeah, I will just raise my voice on the questions from the chat. So I think that we had a question for kind of this bridge discussion when we were giving the floor to everyone. And Alexei from Alaventa asked if we compare the two processes of research and product creation. So it was referring to your previous slide. How will the tools change? So if you can address it.
I can jump to the previous slide. So the question was to this slide, I believe.
I guess so. So like, how will the tools change?
Yeah, this is a good question. So, there is a category theory in mathematics, which is basically a very abstract language which helps mathematicians to transfer theorems and hypotheses from one mathematical theory to another. For example, from group theory to algebra theory. This is a very interesting approach. You see that the concepts are pretty same. The rules are pretty the same, but particular functions are very different. So I believe that for every such transition from this generic flow to the specific flow, you should identify the best product that can solve each scenario. So there is no general recipe for that. But if you go back to the scientific flow, let me go to this slide. For example, here, literature review and summarization. Basically, when you're creating a literature review, you're considering papers. When you are doing marketing review, you're considering customers or competitors. Well, you can create a report about competitors and then try to identify different patterns. If you have enough historical data about competitors, you can create predictive models to better understand which competitors were successful and why. And basically, this is the same as the work with the knowledge in research. So you gather data. In research, you gather data from scientific literature. In marketing research, you gather data from different databases, and then you do pretty the same data analysis. So sometimes tools can be like the same tools. Sometimes you need to adapt, of course, based on your specific problem that you are solving.
All right, thank you so much. Also, there is a question that already was addressed by Maria, but I will still kind of maybe raise it from Bolad. So the education itself is going to transform, starting from how we learn, how we assess, etc. What are your thoughts on that? And solutions that someone is building for the current state of education could be a problem, as education probably will change in the era of AI. So it's basically like you're trying to build something for the existing object or context, and the context is changing.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, this reminds me of one thing that I forgot to include into this presentation is my answer is the following. When we are speaking about education, we should consider different parts of neuroscience and neuropsychology. These fields of science are pretty new. So like the tools to measure different brain activities are becoming popular only now, and the combination of neuroscience and learning sciences and neuropsychology is probably the key for the understanding how people learn, how people understand new concepts, how people create new concepts in their brains. So when you are speaking about the education, creating something for education, you should always consider new concepts. You should always be aware of the new research in these fields. So in the field of neuroscience, neuropsychology, and learning sciences, and you should combine all this new knowledge with you should be aware of it, and you should understand basic concepts from that to be able to create a new system based on AI or something that will be not working with outdated concepts. You're right, education is something that is very fast changing from my point of view. From other point of view, we don't actually know how it was changed inside human brains over the past 2000 years. Does it work the same way or not? We don't really understand. So I suggest you to take closer attention to neuroscience and neuropsychology and learning sciences as well.
All right, thank you so much. And we also have Abhishek from the other project. Yes, Abhishek, hello.
Yeah, actually, we are working in your automating the administrative tasks of hospitals. So my question regarding that, your AI is that how can we use AI in a more precise way to detect the billing errors or your frauds in your hospital management systems?
I'm very sorry, but I didn't get the question. I'm sorry, probably I'm probably too tired. Sorry, I didn't get it.
Yeah, my question is that we are actually working in your health technology sector, and our task is to we are building an AI where our task is to automate the administrative task of the hospital. Now, my question is to how to generate a system where we can detect the billing errors or frauds in the hospitals in a very better way or in an efficient way.
That's a good question, which I don't have an exact answer right now. Let me maybe follow up with you after the presentation. I will sign this question. I will write this question down in my notebook now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, because this is a very kind of precise question that should be answered with more details, I believe.
All right, let's move on then.
Okay, good. We have a bit more time. So I had another slide about what I think about the education, and the answer is pretty simple, pretty similar to what we discussed when we discussed the scientific flow. I believe that education flow can be also adjusted to the product development. Again, it's your field, not my field, but I see that these case steps are pretty similar in customer journey when they explore the new solution, and educational flow when you explore new knowledge. Okay, so I have the last part of the presentation about the AI tools in general. So it is based on one report that I found a few months ago, and I still think that this is a very interesting report. Here is a slide about different real-world examples, how people use Gen AI and in which areas. Basically, this slide has a link, and I hope the slides will be sent to you, and you will be able to open this link. Google collected the list of the products based on the Google tools, which means that they've counted in this list only use cases built on their stack. They've updated this list twice. In 2024, in this list were only 100 use cases. So we see that in 1 year, this list has grown 6 times. There are 601 use cases right now. And these use cases are from world's leading organizations. We see, so you see that 1 year makes a huge difference. And still, this is just a kind of a scratching the surface, what's becoming possible, because this list only consists of the products created on the Google stacks. So you can imagine how many different AI use cases there exist in the enterprise. What does it say? Basically, we can say that, well, we are confident that AI will grow, and AI will grow even beyond our imagination, and we can aware of the creation AI in every product, in every field of our life. Let's take a look at some closer examples. So here is the plot, which was made by one company, Mineral Ventures. They've discussed with 600 people from enterprises, from United States companies, mostly with decision makers. And we see that AI is spending search more than 6 times over 1 year. This is a clear signal that enterprises are now shifting from kind of a experimentation to execution. And we see that most of the expenditure still goes to the foundation model, but we also have a huge growth in the application layer. And yeah, that shows us that actually people will not only use foundational model and try to play with foundational model, but also create a platform solutions and application layers in their products to make their products kind of capable to use any AI in the future. There is also a graph about how people use Gen AI, and we can see that most of the use cases are for code developers. So people basically use code generators to improve their code stack. It's pretty obvious because people who do code development, they are aware of all these AI tools, and they are aware how to work with it. They know how to work with Cursor. They know how to use GitHub Copilot. They know how to use Codium. So they basically open these new AI enriched environments and start coding. This is pretty simple. But the next thing is support chatbot. We see that most of the use cases try to create a support chatbot. This is a very basic scenario. Basically, if you want to have a chatbot trained on your documentation, trained on your specific product, it is very easy. You can create this chatbot in 2 days without specific knowledge with the open source tools, and it will help you to add this AI agent to your product. But there is also a question, is it worth it or not? Should you try it? Should you pay money for that? Should you waste your time for that? This is an interesting question. Basically, this is the question that went to us. We see that there are lots of different tools which allow you to create your own AI chatbots, your own AI environments, to add AI to your workloads, but there are not that many examples which show that additional AI layer added them a lot of additional value to the product directly. So maybe that means that people are still trying to use AI and creating such chatbots and enterprise search solutions is the easiest thing that people can try. I would say that most of the AI products or AI parts of the products struggle not because of the AI, but because of the use case. Usually use cases that are easy to create are not adding enough added value to the product. So that's why it's usually comes to the waste of time and money. I see another question.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
It's me again. So actually echoing the Max question regarding skepticism of teachers, yeah, using and somebody is selling them like a snake oil or something, yeah. But I've seen this similar sentiment, let's say, among the developers in LinkedIn and so on. And basically for me, it was more like sounding as a Daniel, like with the more experience that the person is, the more skepticism there is regarding the tooling and so on. A lot of times there is like polarization, literally. Yeah, somebody's admiring it and somebody is not. Did you have a kind of research or reports about this and how to tackle it?
This is a question that we are researching right now. We're trying to understand the sentiment of the different types of audience. So we're discussing this with our, okay, maybe you heard that Constructor has also a university. So we're discussing with university, with our partners universities, with the developers inside the company and our partner companies. And we are actually building this report. But yeah, in general, there exists already such service, and I don't actually remember what are the correlations between people, between their education and experience and their understanding of, well, what they think about the AI. But yeah, I would agree that people are usually not confident enough that they can use AI properly. So people usually think that it's easier for them to code something by themselves or to write something by themselves, that they will do it better, that they will do it faster than they try to understand how to work with this particular AI system, how to upload your own documents to this system, and how to make the system understand what is written in your documents, how to structure the final reports in the way that you'd like them to be structured, and so on. So yeah, there is a lot of such concurrence in different types of audience, and I hope that we will publish some kind of a comprehensive report with the service results by this summer.
All
Basically,
right.
we see the increase in the tools, right? We see increase in the tools which are used for the creation of the custom AI workloads, custom AI agents, different API and SDKs of from huge providers like OpenAI are becoming more and more user-friendly. There exist new protocols like MSP and A2A that I mentioned before. So like everything is now becoming very user-friendly. So if you spend, I don't know, a week and try to understand how to work with all these tools, you can see that actually many of them can be very smoothly integrated between each other. And you can create a workload that will help you to upload, I don't know, data from your data lake to the AI agent. It will do something with this data, send it to another agent. It will create a report. Then another agent will create some insights based on this report and so on. Basically, it's becoming more and more easier. I can share the map with different tools that help people to create such AI solutions, from infrastructure layer and like foundational models to exact scenarios and exact applications without any coding knowledge. But yeah, again, people still underestimate AI, and people still think that it's complicated, it's bad, it doesn't work like it should work. So yeah, we're now in the situation where people are not yet educated enough, and systems are not yet developed like in a way so they can be used from the box. There is a kind of a gap between what people are ready to do and what products can do. If you spend some time and understand how these products work, I believe your productivity and efficiency will grow significantly, but it requires from you a bit of efforts.
All right. Well, I just say that we have 8 minutes left. So
Yeah,
the
actually,
ones
this
who
is the last
wanted
slide.
to, yes, who wanted to ask anything, yeah, grab your chance or comment on something that you liked or whatever. I receive in my personal messages a question regarding your email, if we can share it so that people will ask you questions.
Yeah, I think so.
Or organize some personal communication.
It's pretty simple. am@constructor.org.
I mean, if we can share it, if I can share
think
it,
so.
then it's
I think
all right.
so.
I'm just, to have your consent.
Yeah, if just don't blame me if I don't answer fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after this workshop, there could be a pretty huge inflow.
Yeah.
You
So
say
there is a
your
question,
email.
right? Sorry?
I said use AI to reply to your emails.
Well, yes and no. The thing that I found complicated, I use MacBook and I like integration between MacBook, iPhone, and iPad. So I use internal Apple tools, and I found out that it's a bit complicated. It was complicated when I've tried to create some flow on my laptop that will automatically take email from my inbox and write an answer. But now Apple introduced Apple Intelligence, so it's becoming much easier. You don't need to do anything. Everything is already included in your laptop. But in general, it is doable. I was interested in creating a workflow on my computer. So AI, which is kind of a small LLM, so small language model, not LLM, SLM, which is hosted on my computer, will gather information from my inbox and create a draft emails. But in general, yeah, as I said, now it's not needed. And yeah, since English is not my native language and I sometimes struggle to formulate my thoughts consistently, I use some AI Grammarly tools just to make my letters more polished.
We all do.
I'm sorry for that.
No problem.
I mean, I'm sorry for my today's English also.
I think that since there were so many questions, people understood you and enjoyed the comments around. I love the comment that is now in the chat. Sorry for being late. Did I miss something important? Well, I guess Ahmad, you will. Ahmad
I don't think so.
You will
actually.
watch. You will watch the workshop in recording. So we were speaking. So then I will just wrap it up mildly. We were speaking about AI in science education and enterprise. So thank you so much, Andre and Maria, for joining us today, and for everyone also to participate and to please also leave your feedback regarding the slides, regarding the topics open, and we will definitely address it. Also, if you need any, if you have still any questions, we will share. I mean, I will share the email of Andre and our, I guess, LMS system, so that you will be able to answer all the questions. So yes, thank you so much, and very insightful. Well, thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much, dear speakers, for giving us the knowledge the constructor knowledge, the truly constructor knowledge. And yeah, I'm just reminding the mainstream group, we will have a coffee break in half an hour where you can ask all the organizational questions. So not regarding the topic of AI, but with this being said, let's go into the week of tech and product roadmap. Let's go ahead. Thank you so much, dear speakers, again for participating.
Thank you, Irina. Thank you, Dmitry, for inviting us to this nice startup incubator.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, if people will be interested in kind of a masterclass how to create a simple AI agent for your product, we can try to create this masterclass, because it's
we will edit this in the feedback form.
It's
actually,
not that hard.
to ask.
Yeah. So if you are interested in more like a
Applied
masterclass,
knowledge.
yeah, more applied knowledge, how to create a simple agent for something inside your product, we can create such masterclass for you.
Yeah, I mean, I as I've said, you can. It's not necessary to answer it here. I will send the feedback form, and there you can just mention, and it's crowd vote, kind of. It will be. All right. Thank you so much, dear all. And then, with this being said, have a nice afternoon ahead. And yeah, we will see each other maybe with some of you in 30 minutes if you want to join the coffee break, or with some of you on the next activities. Thank you so much.